Once the Bookspot assets are created, you will need to make sure that they're linked correctly to the services that require that asset. So let's just say I'm under classes and I'm going under my bootcamp here, my bootcamp class. First things first, we want to make sure that the asset is enabled for the service. So we're going to scroll down to the advanced settings. And under assets right now, you will notice that service doesn't require asset. In this case, I need to make sure that it's turned on to service requires asset. Once that's enabled, we want to make sure that the correct asset category is selected. So I want to make sure, let's say, for example, as I'm going to be using the Studio A locations. Perfect. And then underneath, we have two options. This asset is reserved individually per client, or this asset is reserved for the entire class. In this case, since it's a studio, this entire studio will be used for the entire class, right? No matter if there's 5 people that signed up or 10 clients that signed up, they will all be using that one asset of the studio. So we're going to make sure that this is turned over to this asset is reserved for the entire class. And once that's done, that is step number 1. We want to make sure we save this first. Now, after we save it, if you take a look, the bootcamp already has classes scheduled. However, when the class was first scheduled, the asset was not enabled, meaning that no asset is actually attached to the scheduled services on our schedule right now. So after step 1 of enabling the service type to say that it requires an asset and selecting the actual asset category, we need to go back into these scheduled services to make sure that these assets are actually attached to the scheduled sessions of the bootcamp. So we have one of two options. We can either go add or modify the schedule classes here, or we can click on Bootcamp and go to Manage Schedule to bring us to that Edit Schedule page. So once we're in here for the Edit Schedule for Bootcamp, again, if we take a look, right, we have all these different sessions, but no assets are attached to it. So what we need to make sure we do is we go into Edit, whichever one you need to edit to assign the asset to. We'll just go ahead and pick the 7 to 8 a.m. first. We're going to edit. We're going to say all sessions moving forward. Go next. Okay. Now, if there are other locations, you'll notice that they will all be listed here as well. So then you have an option to maybe add multiple, just so that maybe it makes your life a little bit easier, right? Hey, these sessions with Alex, Arizona, they all require the same asset. We can go ahead and do that. For the ease of this tutorial, we're just going to go ahead and just choose it as the one that we selected, the 7 to 8 a.m. with Carrie. We're going to go next. And then when we scroll down, we're now going to see this option for assets. Right now, you will see the category, right? Studios location A that we selected. However, we did not select the actual asset yet. So you'll see, right, select an option. So nothing's there. We want to make sure we click on the little pencil icon to edit. And then we'll see the two studios that belong under this category. So let's just say these sessions are going to be held in the Blue Studio. That's great. We're going to select Blue Studio. Okay, so we've assigned it. So all the sessions with Carrie from 7 to 8 a.m. for bootcamp moving forward will be held in the Blue Studio. That's perfect. We're going to go next. Right, so it's going to say original. There was nothing. Now the assets changed to Blue Studio. So I'm going to complete this. Perfect. So this session is now held in the Blue Studio. So we can move forward, right? Let's say, hey, Carrie's, let's say test studio A with Mark, right, on 8:30 to 9:30. We can also edit this. Go next. Okay, we can go next again. And we can indicate, hey, you know what? This one, maybe this would be held in the green studio. So we can assign these to a different studio. Go next. And again, the original versus change to. We're going to confirm by hitting complete. So now the session with Mark is in the green studio, whereas the session with Carrie is held in the blue studio. And that's it. So you want to make sure that you enable it first on the service type. And then if you already have scheduled classes or scheduled event that's already on the schedule, you need to make sure you edit to perform the step 2 to actually assign it to the asset afterwards. And that's it. We're going to go save and exit. And we're done.